Hello friends, today our discussion is vital sign, and in vital sign we are going to discuss body temperature, and this is a topic from the nursing foundation BSc first year. Okay, so first we see the normal range of body temperature. Normal core body temperature range is 96.8 to 100.4 degree Fahrenheit, and in the oral cavity it is 98.0 to 98.6 Fahrenheit, and it is in rectal it is will be plus 1 plus. Okay, so plus 1 is from the oral measurement. We are add 1 plus to measure the rectal temperature. Okay, if the if the oral temperature is like 99.5, so what will be the rectal temperature? So here we assume that the rectal temperature may be 1 plus. Okay, 1 plus of the oral cavity, so it is now 100.5. Okay, so it is now 100.5. So this is the rectal temperature. When we are measure the oral temperature, we assume that 1 plus is the rectal temperature, and this is the normal core body temperature. Increased during the exercise. Yes, when we are going to perform any type of exercise, the body temperature will be increased. It is increased from the 101 degree Fahrenheit to the 104 degree Fahrenheit, varies with the temperature extreme of the surrounding. So when the temperature of outside is very low, the our body temperature can be vary from surrounding temperature, and maybe our skin are cooler due to the low temperature of the surrounding. So the temperature can be vary with the surrounding. This is the estimate normal range of core body temperature. You can remember by this chart. So this is the oral temperature. This side is the oral temperature range, and this is the rectal in Fahrenheit and degree Celsius. In early morning, this is is the range of the early morning temperature, and in the early morning our body temperature is low than the normal half of the day, and this is the normal range that they show on the picture in the oral cavity, and this one is the normal range in the rectal. Okay, and during hard exercise it will be exceed, okay, from 101 to 104, and this is a hard work emotional a few normal adults and may active children. Okay, this is all about this core body temperature. This is the distribution of temperature in the core cell, and in core and cells. Okay, so core is the inside the deep tissue is the core, and this person is show their body temperature during cold weather, and this show in weather when weather are warm. So in the cold weather, the the core temperature on the upper half of the body is similar. Okay, and on the leg they did not have so much body that is warmed, and the cell are not be so much warmed due to cold. Only the vital organ that present on the upper body have a core body temperature in the season, sorry, in cold season. And in the warm season, the whole body, that is from the head to toe, the core body temperature is same, that is 37 degree Celsius. And in the in the weather that is that make cold and warm weather, the shell temperature remains same, that is 36 degrees Celsius, and this is the uh, 32, that is on the arms. Okay, remember this. Now we see the heat production. So heat is produced by the basal metabolic activity of the cells, and by muscle activity that include the muscle contraction and the muscle contraction, and by the shivering. So shivering is involuntary movement of muscles in which muscle are contract and produce the heat. Okay, non-shivering thermogenesis occur in neonates, means the shivering is not occur in the newborn baby because they have uh, no so much fat are present, and that's why there is no shivering occur inside the newborn baby. Effect of thyroxine means effect of thyroid hormone that can also produce heat. Okay, and also growth hormone and testosterone are help to production of heat. Effect of epinephrine and non-epinephrine and sympathetic stimulation of the cell can also going to produce the heat. So we all know the epinephrine and non-epinephrine are flight hormone. They act during the stress condition. So if inside the body the temperature is low their normal range, the epinephrine going to produce heat. They increase the metabolic activity, and that activity going to produce heat. Increase chemical activity in the cells, and means there is use of fuel, and through this there is a production of heat. Extra metabolic need, digestion, absorption and storage of food are increased, and this is a thermogenic effect of the food. Loss of heat. Now how our body can lose the heat. So in deep organ, especially in the liver, brain and heart, and in the skeleton muscle, they lose their heat during the exercise. Okay, so uh, when we are perform any type of exercise, the heat is produced by these organs, and they are uh, lost uh, by the body surface. Okay, so exercise can help to reduce can uh, help to reduce the heat. How they reduce? In during exercise there is sweating. uh, Person have sweat completely, and by the evaporation the heat can be lost from the body, from the person body. Okay, the transfer to the skin, where it is lost to the air and other surrounding. So the skin is exposed in a cold environment, so the heat can be lost from the body. Rapid heat can be conducted from where it produced in the body core to the skin. So it is rapidly conducted. Okay, whether it is produced from body or in the skin, it is not depend on the where the where the heat is produced. It is rapidly go outside the body. Okay, and how rapidly heat can be transferred from the skin and surrounding. It is also due to heat loss. Here we see the mechanism that how the body can lose their heat. So first you see radiation. Okay, so when a person radiate heat, they radiate about 60% heat in the waveform, and it can be absorb heat due to the by the radiation. Okay, so absorption and loss of heat can be done by a person. Okay, so it is radiation heat loss is 60. Here you see convention. So convention is heat loss through air. When air come, the body heat is lost through the air. Okay, this is the conduction that you see, the conduction that is, when the body is conducted from body heat conducted from person to table. Okay, so the temperature of body is higher than the table, so that heat is conducted from body to table. And this conduction is 3%. Air conduction is, that is convention is 50%. And evaporation, when a person are sweating, they evaporate the uh, heat in the form of water droplets, and this is evaporation loss is 22%. Okay, so higher is the heat lost through the body. Why? Radiation. So radiation can uh, lose the heat 60% as compared to the other mechanism. So you remember the radiation, that this radiation means in the wave form. They can lose the heat in convention. The heat is lost when air is passes from the body, and that air can take the heat from the body and travel to the environment. So through this process it is lost only 50%. And this is conduction when uh, heat is transferred from person body to the table. So the temperature of person body is higher than the table. Okay, table have a less temperature, so the temperature can go from that side. Evaporation through water vapors. Okay, so through water vapors, the heat loss 22%. Okay, next, insulator system of the body. So our body insulating system is subcutaneous tissue, especially the subcutaneous fat. Okay, the fat present inside the subcutaneous tissue, it is this that is the our insulatory system. Fat is important because it conduct heat only one third, only one third that is produced, one third is reached to the subcutaneous layer, uh, only the one third. Mm, I understand. Only one third heat is reached to subcutaneous tissue. Now, here the skin layer, and in this we see their blood supply. So this is the epidermis. First one is the epidermis. Okay, second is the dermis, and then subcutaneous tissue. And in the subcutaneous, they have a fat layer. Okay, in subcutaneous they have a fat layer. Okay, so these are the artery. This is the artery, and this is the arteriovenous uh, anastomosis. Okay, this is the connection of the venous and artery. So this is the arteriovenous anastomosis, and this is the artery. Now these are individual artery go into the dermis, and here is some capillary. So in the epidermis there is no blood vessels. There is no blood vessels. Okay, no blood vessels in the dermis. So the heat produced by the uh, core body tissue, that is only the that heat is transferred to the subcutaneous tissue. And here due to the presence of fats, it only transfer the one third of the heat into the dermis and the epidermis. Okay, so one third is heat is transferred through the subcutaneous fat, through the subcutaneous layer. Now, detection of temperature. Skin is innovated with both cold and warm receptors. So skin have both receptors, and when the skin is chilled, there's immediate reflex action are invoked. So these are reflection. They have strong involuntary shivering. Okay, first is the strong involuntary shivering. Second, inhibit the sweating, uh, so less heat is lost, okay, through the evaporation. Third is the promoting skin vasocontraction. So the blood vessels are present in the skin are be contract to minimize the loss of body heat from the skin. Okay, when the less amount of blood is going to transfer to the skin, there is less chance to loss the body heat. Okay, next. So now we see the regulation of body temperature, and here we see the role of hypothalamus. So basically hypothalamus can be sense minor change in the body temperature. Okay, the anterior part of the hypothalamus is responsible for the control of heat loss, and the posterior part responsible for the heat production. Understood? So it is for responsible heat loss, and it is for production. It is for production, and another one is the heat loss. So the anterior hypothalamic have if the heat beyond to its set point, if the inside is the temperature of inside the body is increased from normal range, the impulse are sent out the and sent out to reduce the temperature. Okay, so it is basically for reduce the temperature. And posterior hypothalamus, since body temperature is very low to its set point, and it initiate the heat conservation process. Okay, now the temperature decreasing mechanism when body is too hot. So if our body is too hot, these three mechanisms are basically happened. First is the vasodilation of the skin vessels. So okay, the dilation of blood vessels that are present on the skin. And second one is the sweating. The excessive sweating occur, and due to this the heat is lost through evaporation. And last is the decreasing heat production through shivering and mechanical thermogenesis, like mm, heat produced due to chemical reaction, that like uh, digestion of food, any mechanism that occur inside the body that produce the heat, that mechanism slower, get their activity will be slow, and and may be inhibited. And if the our body is too hot, then these mechanisms like shivering and chemical thermogenesis are strongly inhibited. Second one is the temperature increasing mechanism when the body is too cool. Okay, so these are the mechanism that help to increase the body temperature. First one is the skin vasoconstriction throughout the body. Okay, the blood vessels are present in the throughout the body are now constricted. So by constricting these blood vessels, there is increase. They are going to increase the body temperature. Second one is the pyloric reaction. Pyloric reaction means erection of hair due to the involuntary contraction of the any blood vessels, any small muscles, and this leads to pyloric reaction. Basically, it is the erection of hair. So this is the arm, like get erected on the arm. So this is a pyloric reaction. And increase in thermogenesis, like they are increase the heat production by shivering, and sympathetic excitation, and by sympathetic excitation they also leads to increase the heat production. As we all know, when we are in stress condition, our heart rate, our temperature is going to increase. And also thyroxine secretion, the thyroid hormone secretion, can leads to increase the basal metabolic rate. Okay. And due to metabolic activity, there is increase in body temperature. Okay, so temperature will be increased to the this uh, hormones, thyroid hormone, thyroxine hormone. Okay. Here we see the control of body temperature. Okay, so here is the condition when the body temperature is low, then it's normal uh, um, body normal its range. Okay, so the temperature is low, so it this act on the this stimulation is act on the receptor that are present in on the skin and hypothalamus. Okay, when the stimulate act on the receptor, going to transport the stimulate through the nerves on the control center. So the control center are their hypothalamus, and the second one is the uh, thyroid hormone, and that thyroid hormone is secreted by thyrotrophin cell that is present in the anterior pituitary gland. Okay, so these these center are now get stimulated, and they go to transfer the hormone, and this is the output. Okay, the stimulation of these center, they have output that like nerve impulse and thyroid stimulating hormone, and they're effected. Now we see these hormone effects effect on different body parts. First here on the skin, their vasoconstriction and decrease heat loss through the skin. Okay, through vasoconstriction. Next is the effect on the adrenal medulla. So they release the hormone that increase the cellular metabolic activity, like epinephrine and non-epinephrine are going to secrete, and maybe non-epinephrine that act on the metabolic activity, digestion will be increased. Okay, in non-epinephrine condition, the digestion will be happen. Third one is the skeleton muscles contraction. Okay, due to skeleton muscle contraction, they leads to shivering. Okay, and the rapid skeleton muscle contract, they leads to shivering, and this is also increase the temperature. And okay, this is the involuntary process, this also increase the temperature. And this is that adrenal medulla uh, act release the non-epinephrine, and they are going to activate the cellular activity, and like digestion and another process, and that lead also increase in the body temperature. Okay, and vasoconstriction, as you know, this is also increase the body temperature. Okay, last one is the thyroid hormone. Thyroid hormone act on the thyroid gland. This thyroid stimulating hormone, sorry, stimulating hormone act on the thyroid gland, and this gland now release the thyroid hormone which increase the metabolic activity. Okay, so the basal metabolic metabolism is increased by this hormone, and this leads to increase the temperature. And now these all effect going to increase the body temperature. If the body temperature get normal, okay, then return then these hormone get a negative feedback on the receptor. Okay, so if here we see the response increase in body temperature, if the body temperature is increased from their normal range, they now going to act as a negative feedback and act on the receptor to reduce the body temperature. So this is also a negative feedback process. Okay, hope you understand. Abnormality of body temperature regulation. So now we see some abnormalities. Fever. Fever is also known as a pyrexia. Fever is basically increased body temperature from their normal set point, and it occur because heat loss mechanism are unable to keep pace with the excessive heat production and reducing its reducing normal resulting in abnormal temperature. So the heat loss mechanism is not be occur properly, so the fever can be. So in this graph, we have see the body temperature and time. So this is basically for the fever, and then fever get normal, the body temperature get normal, afebrile. So there are different steps are involved from fever to afebrile phase. So first, here you see this is a set point when our body have no pathogen and there is no viral inside the body. Here this is from the 98 to 9. It is a set point when no pathogen inside the body. If any pathogen enter inside the body like bacteria and virus, and this is also known, and these bacteria and virus in also known as pyrogene. So these pyrogene now increase the body temperature, and our hypothalamus now get a new set point, and this is in is 103 in the graph. Okay, so this is a new set point when our body temperature is increased. The body have going to different uh, steps like chills. Like chills is the first one process that show there is a increase in pathogen number inside the body. Okay, so that go to increase the body temperature. So first is chills. In chills it includes vasoconstriction, means there is an increase in heat production and pyloric reaction, erection of the air due to the vasoconstriction, and they also uh, increase the heat. Epinephrine, uh, this is a stress hormone that also increase the heat production, and shivering is involuntary movement. It also increase the heat production, and after that the heat is produced. After this there is uh, a plateau phase where the person feel very warm and dry. In this phase the person feel very warm and dry, and after that there's third step after plateau. There is third step, that is febrile. In this the that new set point is now going to decrease. There is crisis, and in this phase we can say there is a decrease in number of pathogen and pyrogene that affect the body, and the body temperature now come to the low set point, now normal set point, and this last phase is the afebrile, means there is no fever to the patient. Okay, so this is all about this graph. First phase is the chill phase. First phase is the chill phase. Second phase is the uh, plateau phase. Okay, second one is the plateau phase, and third one is the febrile. Okay, third one is the febrile, and fourth one is the afebrile. Afebrile means there is no fever, and person get normal to its normal body temperature, and febrile phase when the um, from febrile to afebrile there is crisis. Okay, the body temperature is decreased from high point to low, and here we say that the number of pathogen and pyrogen is decreased. Number of pathogen and pyrogen are going to decreased. Okay, this is all about this graph, and this show the uh, phase from fever to afebrile condition. Here, heat illness. So there are some disease. In this is show severity. Okay, heat cramps. First is the heat cramp disorder. Second is the heat syncope. Third, heat exhaustion, and fourth is heat stroke. And heat stroke is the severe condition. First, in the heat cramp, the sign that show the heat cramps are the muscle pain, muscle spasms, and muscle cramps. Okay, so the first is the pain on the muscle, pain in the muscles. Muscle spasms means there is a decrease in size of the muscles. Muscle cramp is also like a pain on the muscles, and their remedy, what we are do when these conditions are occurs: consume large amount of fluid and replace electrolytes. Okay, so the provide adequate amount of fluid and nutrients to the person. And heat syncope, in this the warning signs are fatigue, dyspnea, and weakness, thirst, profusion sweating, and faintless. The person get fainted. So basic means of syncope is temporary unconscious person, the person going for temporary fainting. And their remedy: stop exercise if the person are doing any type of work exercise and exercise. Try to stop this exercise, move to shady area, and consume fluid to the person. The third one is the heat exhaustion, means in this condition, the warning signs are fatigue, like same as heat syncope, dyspnea, weakness, thirst, perfusion, sweating. Large amount of sweating are occur, same like syncope. And there other are the difference, like pale color of the skin, and skin is cold, headache, nausea, chills, faintness, unconscious, vomiting, and diarrhea. So when the patient are exhausted, these are the condition, and these are the signs are seen in the patient. So what are the remedies? What we are going to do in this condition: stop exercise, move to the cold places, and administer. Here we are going to administer the fluid. And his talk, when the patient are stay long hour in the sun. So there are warning sign like headache, nausea, chills, unconscious, heat, hot and dry skin, eases of sweating. Okay, uh, fast swallow, heart rate, vomiting, diarrhea, uh, seizures, and coma. And in this condition we are providing first aid. Now, hypothermia. So what is hypothermia? When the body temperature is very low to its normal range. When the skin or the blood is cool enough to the lower the body temperature, metabolic and physiological process are be slow. Respiration and heart rate are very slow, and blood pressure will also be slow, and conscious is lost. The patient conscious level is now lost. At rectal temperature of about 28 degrees Celsius, now the temperature is reached to the 28 degrees Celsius. Okay, the ability to spontaneous return the temperature to normal is lost. And what the individual continue to survive if the rewarm and external heat are provided to the patient. And so providing external heat and warming the patient are survive and can become from the hypothermia. Second is the frosestivitis. So in the frosestivitis, the body temperature is body is now exposed in a very low temperature, and the area that is exposed, that is freeze. In frosestivitis, especially in occur in the uh, ear and nose, and digits of hand and feet. So these area are more prone to frosestivitis, to get freezed, and these injured area are become white, waxy, and firm to touch. If the frozen has been sufficient to cause extensive formation of ice crystal in the cell. So if the freezing level is increased, they get freeze the cells and make a crystal inside the body. Okay, and prevent damage usually result such as prevent circulation impaired and local tissue damaged. So due to the freezing on the on this area, the proper circulation is not be occur, and the area get damaged. In frosestivitis, the area is removed through the surgery. Now, hyperthermia. Hyperthermia is the inability to promote or reduce the heat production by the body. That heat is produced by the body is not be reduced. Okay, that condition leads to hyperthermia. It results from a overload hyper thermoregulatory mechanism. So the overload on the hypothalamus, the hypothalamus now is not able to reduce the body temperature. Okay, thank you. This is all about the body temperature, the vital sign. So remember the normal core body temperature, that is 96.8 to 100.4. Okay, that is the mean. And remember these things that I discuss in this video. Thank you, and keep watching my video that helping for you to understand the topic.